Welcome back. You're watching us here on Chartbusters. Let's get in an interesting conversation now. India's industrials and consumer durables space. The inflation is weighing in on entry-level consumer players, the durables players that is. To discuss this and much more, we are joined by Amit Mahawar, who's the consumer durables and infrastructure as well as industrials analyst at UBS Securities. He joins us from the sidelines of the UBS India Summit. Thanks a lot, Amit, for joining in. A pleasure speaking with you. Speaking about the consumer durables space itself, everyone's talking about inflation and its impact on consumer sentiment on the whole. I just wanted your thoughts on what have you made of the results so far? What are your expectations from the companies that are yet to report? And in light of that, what would be the best opportunity from a investment bet in the space right now?
Thank you, Nigel and Mangalam. Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show. So I think industrials for last around 2 years plus has been suffering from the inflation bit. The consumer durable companies are not able to pass on the inflation impact, right? And that's reflecting in the inferior profit growth, right, for last couple of quarters. But we are of the view that some of the emerging themes here, like electrification, where you see very strong growth on cable and wire space, right? The real estate and the general white goods growth has been picking up gradually. The cooling space in last season was very strong. So we believe in the next 12 to 24 months, consumer durable normalization of demand will happen. And you will have profitability ramp up which will start, which was missing for the last 2 years. That is our broad directional view on the consumer electrical durable space.
All right, hi Amit, morning and good to see you, Ben. So you're not really perturbed with the near-term slowdown that we could be experiencing?
So what you are seeing is around the current festive, if you look at the commentary of most of the companies around H1 results, broadly they've been able to stock reasonably okay. Like the room AC segment has surprisingly seen a very strong stocking, right? Fan after BLDC transition has gradually picked up, but I cannot say that the demand is still very strong. So we are actually heading for a very gradual normalization of consumer demand. Entry level, yes. Generally has struggled. Even on the urban side, you've seen a lot of brands are not able to pass on the pricing. So if you expect in a very near term any strong growth, that is unlikely and difficult. But I think on a 12 months to 24 months period, I can say that the earning growth in consumer durable names should be better than the last 2 years for sure.
So let's get a little more specific now, Amit. You said the cooling space is looking good in particular, and there would be profit growth over the next 12 to 24 months. If you could give us a sense of what is your expectation of profit growth over the next 12 to 24 months, and what are the companies under your coverage which are likely to outperform the industry expectations here?
Sure. I'll maybe disappoint you on the name side. I will not take, not allowed to take stock-specific names, but directionally, I think refrigerator, room ACs, we expect the profit growth should be in high double digits, more than 15-20% plus, on the base of profits and margins that are actually fairly weak in last 2 years. You saw how room AC companies, air cooler companies, ref companies have reasonably grown on volumes, particularly air cooler and room ACs, but they have struggled on the profitability, right? We think in the next 1 to 2 years, that is where you will see profit rebound and inflation normalization, demand side picking up well. And more importantly, players are ready and the supply chain is stabilizing, which was shifting from China, etc.
What is the updated number on the penetration of room ACs as well as refrigerators here in India? Because as the per capita income moves up, that as well, the penetration is likely to increase. So you could give us an updated number on how do you see that headed?
See, refrigerator is fairly penetrated at more than 30-35% plus. It's a fairly penetrated space. Room ACs is still under-penetrated at less than 10%. Right, if you compare with all the top economies, we are fairly lagging. So that is going to be the main structural demand driver. So that is the reason why you see a lot of global and local companies entering the room AC space.
And washing machine even lower?
Washing machine is even lower than room ACs, yes.
All right, we'll wrap it up with a view on wires and cables. If you have a view out there, I mean, we've seen, clear outperformance by one of the players and some sort of expected market share loss for the other incumbent. What are your thoughts here for the next 12 to 24 months?
I think the biggest trend that we've highlighted in our research notes on the cable and wire post our initiation is that the domestic industrial infra and underground cabling story is very strong. And you have a very strong tailwind of global electrification rally where Indian companies are emerging out as big exporters to the Western world, right? You see the top 5 companies in terms of cable exports particularly. We have a big number now, if I'm not wrong, more than $2 billion worth of cable is what we are exporting annually as per the last updated number, and there's a strong headroom to grow. So domestic growth is strong on the volume side. They are fairly reasonably good pricing power, even better than the B2C segments. And to top it up, the demand from export is very strong for last maybe around a couple of quarters.
Okay, all right. Tremendous potential in India, and there's an export opportunity as well. On that optimistic note, we leave it at that. Amit, thanks a lot for joining us and speaking to us on that. Do keep in touch, and we look forward to hearing your views. Well, it's time to slip into a short break. As we do that, here's a programming note. As CNBC-TV18 celebrates 25 years of excellence, we invite you to the most anticipated event of the year, the CNBC-TV18 Global Leadership Summit on November 14th, starting 10 a.m. onwards. A power-packed day with several panelists focusing on India's economy, digital landscape, markets, entertainment, and a lot more, only and only on CNBC-TV18.